Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the new Pokemon, which is literally a car or whatever in Pokemon Go in the Ultra League. You cannot get it for the Great League sadly at the current time unless you have like a small level account, like I don't know, level 10 or something, and get like an egg and get this Pokemon out of it. But I was so insanely lucky and got this Pokemon from my first egg. I could have already showcased it yesterday. This video is actually recorded yesterday, but if you're a member of the channel, you actually most likely see it prior. So definitely if you want to support the channel, membership is a good way to do that, and you're also gonna get early access to like those showcases like this one here. But otherwise, we're going to have a fun team here. We're going to have a team that I actually really quite enjoy. We're going to have the Tapu Fini in the lead, which is going to be able to handle those ground type Pokemon that we don't want to face with our backline. We're going to have a Say-Swap here, another Overheat user, which is going to be the Galarian Weezing, and in the back we're going to have the Revavroom. I'm not going to say this name ever again. I have no idea how to say it. If you know how to say it, let me know in the comment section, but honestly, for me, this name is pure pain. Like this Overheat landing here against the opponent's Walrein, as you're gonna get out the Breloom, and look at this attack animation. What the hell is this? But we're gonna be able to now use a shield. We don't even have to use a shield, it would be double resisted. But in comes now the Alolan Golem. We have some friendlies, by the way, here for the Ultra League. Ultra League is coming back next week. Mostly gonna do a top team video for this one. Don't gonna do another top team video. I think I said it before as well for the Hisui Cup, because yeah, currently we don't even have the PE Poke rankings and stuff like this available, and yeah, I just don't really have time currently. But yeah, anyway, so you're going to see here the serve coming through from the Tapu Fini against the opponent's Golem, but I'm going to let this move go through because I want to win this with a new Pokemon. So while charge coming through, we can get the defense drop even further here from the opponent. We're running Acid Spray plus Overheat on this engine as well, which is going to be nice, as we're going to be able to go for an Acid Spray here again and get the opponent's defense so insanely low, but the opponent actually let this move go through anyway, and so we can knock them out with one more Poison Jab, and this is going to be it for this one. Next opponent coming through. Shout out to this opponent here, by the way, as well. I know that they are gifting me quite often some tickets as well, so I think they gifted me also the ticket here for the current research for Team Rocket. So shout out to you, thanks for that. I really appreciate it as well. I don't expect anybody to give me anything, by the way, but yeah, definitely appreciate it. Here we're gonna see the Galvantula against us. This is going to be a little bit tricky, and I have to say I kinda underestimate the bulk of this Pokemon because it can actually survive a move. I usually just go straight for a charge, for a shield here, but as you can see here, of course, was a double resisted launch. We're going to be able to actually take this one. We can go for another Acid Spray, and with this we're going to be able to get the knockout against the opponent's Galvantula. In comes the Giratina, and we can still reach another Acid Spray, and this is amazing because with this every our move is going to do like double damage basically, and we can just go ahead and go into our Weezing. I think it's plus 50%. I think it's double damage if you're -4, but I'm not too sure about it. But here we're going to see that we can still go for the Brutal Swing, and this is going to do massive damage now. Being super effective, being against a double debuff Pokemon we see here already, it literally chunks quite a bit from the Giratina, and so we're gonna be able to let this move go through. Shadow Sneak is coming in, and we can now try to go for the full Founder, but we're actually gonna go for another charge move, as this is gonna get the knockout, and we will see what they're going to have in the back. It's going to be the Lantern. This is literally the worst possible Pokemon I could have imagined to face in the back. Of course, clever by the opponent to still keep this one around. This team actually is not that weak against Lantern. Both of the Pokemon in the back have some play against it, but of course, if both of the Pokemon are gone already, Tapu Fini is not going to have the greatest time here. That's what I can say, and I'm not going to go even for a charge move here because I know this game is over. There's not a lot that I can do against a Lantern. Lantern is actually crazy good, but also I still kind of want to troll around, so I go for the Overheat here just for the fun. But yeah, the opponent knows already as well that I'm just trolling here, so good game there. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have a Charizard in the lead. This is going to be a great matchup for us. We're going to be able to resist both charge moves as I swap onto the Swamp, but I'm kind of stuck in here now because, again, both of our Pokemon in the back are part Poison type, and you don't want to go against like a Ground type with a part Poison type Pokemon. And so what I'm actually going to do here is a little bit of a risky play. I decided to go for 2 shields because they're going to go for the Hydro Cannon first, but they still should outspeed me to the Earthquake here. And so I decided to use another shield just to keep my Tapu Fini healthy, and this is exactly what we're going to do now. And so we're going to be able to farm them all the way down, get a ton of energy, but it's still going to be a tough current situation for us. As the opponent gonna show us the final Pokemon of them, which is going to be the Dragonite, and I decided to swap out into my Revavroom Okay, I just actually took a break now from the video to watch a video on YouTube to see on how you actually say the name. And I can tell you already, I'm definitely not going to be capable of saying this, so we're just gonna say this Pokemon is called Engine now at this point. But yeah, we're gonna go into our Engine. Our Engine is not going to enjoy this blast burn coming through. Like, honestly, like, I'm just not capable. I guess it is fine. You're gonna be able to go for a Surf here still against the opponents. Charizard, they're going to use a shield, but it does not really help them if we're going to have another Surfer for them. So this is going to get the knockout against them, and we're going to see the Dragonite. Hopes that we're going to have something in the back that are they going to be able to beat, but I don't know if they're going to even see the final Pokemon of ourselves, because we can just go ahead and I'll let the superpower go through, go for the Moonblast, and we can say goodbye to the opponent. Not even showcasing our Weezing there in the back, and this is going to be it for that game. Next opponent, we're going to have another Dragonite in the lead, which is something that I love to see. In comes now the Jellicent here, which is basically okay for a Weezing. It's basically the best matchup that I could have been in with a Weezing here, because Jellicent is actually a hard wall to, especially the Pokemon in the back, the Engine there, as they're going to be able to go for a Brutal Swing that's going to get the shield from the opponent. And at least we have super effective damage here. It's still going to be a little bit tricky, which you're going to see now with the Brutal Swing not landing. We see that it does not do half of the opponent's health, and so it is still not really an easy matchup, but my hope is that in the 2-shield scenario, the Fairy Wind damage is adding up enough that we're going to be able to get them into a range where just one more Brutal Swing would be enough to knock them out. And it looks pretty decent, I would say, because the opponent is already kinda far below half health here just because of our Fairy Wind. We can go for a Brutal Swing. Is this enough to get the knockout? Let's take a look at this. It is not. And we can still farm them down, so it's totally okay for us. We even get some extra energy, and we might even be able to go for an Overheat here, but I decided to not go for that, which I should have actually went for. I think Overheat would have done more damage. Overheat would have been the cooler move to go for, but I actually chicken out here and just go for the Brutal Swing because I thought I would be able to reach 2. Does not matter. But maybe it does now matter, because again there's going to be that Lantern in the back. I don't like Lantern. I don't like Lantern in the Great League, and I don't like Lantern in the Ultra League. Why is this Pokemon so good everywhere? And why does everybody basically thought in the beginning that Spark was a nerf? Like, it's still kinda, I don't know, I still don't understand why people thought that Spark was a nerf. It was literally a buff for a Pokemon that was already very, very strong. Literally, the Spark buff basically got Lantern into the meta for the Ultra League. We have a double debuffed variant though against us, so maybe the Surfer will be enough to knock them out. It is not. Can we farm them down in time? We cannot. We have 1 more HP there onto the opponent's part. And so, sadly, this is going to be a loss, as they can go for the charge move here. If we just would have been able to farm down there the 1 more HP, would have been really, really nice. We would have been able to easily win this game. But like this, we're going to lose. And it's a good game to the opponent. We have a lot of really great leads here, like 2 Charizards I think now, and also 2 Dragonites is kinda wild. In comes though the Annihilate, and Annihilate is something that is maybe a little bit difficult for us, but it's kinda okay still. The issue is for the Weezing that basically Shadow Ball still kinda hurts me quite a bit, and so this matchup can still be a little bit tricky. Of course, benefit is that counter basically does no damage. But also, Brutal Swing is just neutral, which is also a little bit tricky, because as you're gonna see, they can still go for a move. And I decided to no-shield. And I was right, it was just the Ice Punch. I was thinking, there's no way that they would get to a Shadow Ball again, but yeah, we can still go ahead and go for an Overheat here against the opponent. In camps now, the Charizard, which definitely does not want to take this one, definitely does more damage than the Brutal Swing as well. And we, of course, can realign our Pokemon. Tapu Fini is definitely going to enjoy this one here, as we will be able to take the move from the opponent. I kind of want to keep 2 shields for Engine in the back there. You're gonna see that the opponent gonna swap out into the Genesect, and it's time for the name that I cannot say. So we're gonna see here as well the opponent having the Water module in the back, which you're gonna see here as well with the animation a little bit. I think it's the Water variant of it. But we can go for the Acid Spray first, which gonna drop the opponent's defense, and most likely gonna not really know the moveset of this Pokemon. And as you're gonna see here, the opponent decided to use a shield. And now, because the opponent still has a shield, what is the smallest movement we can go for? Of course, going straight for the Overheat, because why not? Just completely annihilate it, please. Goodbye. Literally, I don't know how much damage this actually did, because it was double super effective on a double debuff Pokemon with a hard hitting Overheat. That was absolutely madness, and we can easily win this game now. Good game there. Moving on, let's see what they're going to run. We're going to have a Galvantula again. A lot of Galvantulas, well, all of a sudden, definitely something that I don't really see too often in the open Ultra League, usually at least. But in comes now the Skeledirge against our Galarian Weezing here, and this is actually amazing, because you're going to have the Brutal Swing, and Brutal Swing is going to chunk quite a bit. We're going to outspeed the opponent all the time, we just need 5 fast moves to get to a Brutal Swing, and so the opponent is gonna still be able to get a shield from me, because I can still go for a charge move here, but I can overfarm by quite a bit. And thankfully, they're gonna decide to go for the Shadow Ball, which allows me as well to overfarm even more now. And so this Brutal Swing is coming through, is going to force a shield or the knockout. Let's see, it's going to get the knockout against the opponent, and in comes, let's see what's coming back in here. It is going to be the Galvantula again. That's totally fine for me, because I can still go for a charge move, and they might think, maybe it's an overheat. Let's take a look. It is definitely not an overheat, but the opponent decides to use a shield, which is amazing. So in comes the Discharge, going to knock me out, but it's time for the engine to also get hit by a charge move. I think I would have been able to get an extra fast move in there, but the game kind of lagged there. But we see the lunge is not going to do too much damage, and we will see also a Guzzlord swapping back in here. Not too sure if we're going to be able to still win this game. It's going to be a little bit of a close one. We're going to be able to just overfarm by quite a bit. We are Steel and Poison, so we're going to be able to at least resist the fast move, and I can swap out now. This should be a very safe matchup for us, right? Maybe not. Yeah, the Tapu Fini is not enjoying this one. You see how much lag is there, like on both sides, basically. It's kind of sad to see. But we can go for a Surf. This is going to not get the knockout, and it was not supposed to get the knockout either. I kind of want to hope that the opponent goes for their own charge move now, because I didn't want to give the opponent's Charger Bug any kind of energy, and now we should be able to farm them all the way down anyway. So hopefully our engine here is going to be able to just go for the sweep. We're gonna hit this move as well, which is kind of wild. I have to use a shield here. It's most likely going to be a launch, but it does not really matter. And so we're gonna be able to go for the full farm down. Can we also farm down the opponent's Guzzlord? We are going to be able to do that, and we win this game. Next opponent, we're going to see here the Ampharos on the lead, and I can already talk a little bit about this Pokemon now here for the final battle anyway. Definitely a cool Pokemon. I feel like this has a lot of potential for the future. I think you kind of need a different kind of charge move as well. I think it has like some special charge move as well that it could learn. But basically, this Pokemon has a great typing, I would say, because it's like such a unique typing. Of course, you cannot really hit any ground type Pokemon. Ground types are double super effective against you, but it's a very interesting typing that can actually wall quite a lot of Pokemon. And if it just gets like one more different move, it would be actually kind of meta, or like at least some kind of Pokemon that is a little bit more usable. But already in this current state, I think it's a really cool Pokemon to have, so definitely try to hatch this Pokemon. Of course, I was insanely lucky to get this one on my first 12-kilometer egg, which is just absolutely madness. But yeah, we're going to be able to now move on to the final matchup. I tried to catch a Moonblast here. Let's see how well this actually went. Yeah, that was a great Moonblast here. Moonblast would have been double resisted, but like this, we're gonna get walled by the Skeledirge anyway, and so there is nothing that I can do here. This final game was just a complete RPS matchup against me, and so I'm just going to decide to let this move go through from the opponent. That's going to be also it for this video. Thanks all for watching. If you still stay till now, feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.